up, shut up, but get your ass up, 'cause we ain't got time to be playing this all fucked up America. Heaven for the thief, hell for the slave, reaping what you sold me and giving back what you gave. For a clean slate, trying to imitate you was always fake America. Every city, state, this is your fate. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America.
On the timeline, giving the room to expose the issue. Five, four, right shit. We're getting it is past time, so in a minute I'm gonna pass out. I hope you get it, deep when you crash line. Kinda simple when you feel it, that's your last line. You're real confused and bad mind. A damn shame. That's the exact thing on the jazz fry. Bombs from the sky, rich devil lullaby. Then the nigga fly, oh we got an alibi. Bombs from the sky, rich devil lullaby. Then the missiles high. See him from the parking lot, living for the fall out. Devils from the fall out, all our warfare nightmares in the big house. The murder for years and thinking shit won't turn around. I never learned from this motherfucker birds out. Yelling in the streets, holding the bridge. All of you haters bring hope to this beast. You root for time, but we play for keeps. I pray to my father, bring hope to this beast. Remember them times we hung on the trees. All of you nations bow down to your knees. Remember them shit, they brought us in fleets. Fuck they Apollo, bring them the heat. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, whoa, to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America.
God is gonna destroy this empire. You got to see famine in this place. You think them fires in California is bad? That's just the beginning of what the Lord is about to do. Because you've been evil to the Lord's people. You've been wicked to the Most High's children, man. You've been destructive to the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me tell you something, black man. You got to put on your strength now, man. Put back on your strength and look, black man, because your day is coming. Your day is coming because the Lord is going to bring judgment on this earth. Yeah. But I took an oath that I'ma stand up and blaze the truth on any motherfucker. Yo. Hey, bury me a priest. Up at night I never sleep, cause the play me up, that's only three. Bury me a priest. Revolution every moving, every dance, get a lot in these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Who's going under for my dad's let me die, so he ever got to see. Bury me a priest. You can devil rest in peace, tell my kids that they died on the street. Bury me a priest. So cold-blooded, but the hoes love it. Posted with the low sturgeon. In 15, I got caught up in the wrong spot. Cop tried to put me from the nose blood, now I'm fighting back. Suit up all my niggas in that black. Troopers with them killers in the cat. Catch me on the corner going hard with them motherfucking backs. Blaze on your bitch ass. Trust the truth for days and I get cash. Bring it to the table, then we split that. This that nation built a show to make the dead turn their neck like you glad. Bury me a priest. Up at night I never sleep, cause the play me up, that's only three. Bury me a priest. Revolution every moving, every dance, get a lot in these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Who's going under for my dad's let me die, so he ever got to see. Bury me a priest. You can devil rest in peace, tell my kids that they died on the street. Bury me a priest. I'm from the south and know a trail up in Cardell. Met a nigga by the name of Cardell. That kitty ain't his real name, put me on the work from the cartel. Bitch ain't a snitch, I'm a snitch. And I hit my brother up, I kinda lit. Wake up on the truth, that shit legit. We can ship it by the truckload and by the end of the summer, we gon' hit, nigga. Yeah, about to be the man on that bitch ass. Got green plus the Z's on that bitch ass. Couple rubber band on the bitch ass. The fuck a nigga saying, don't you cash? Let's slowly cut out while I ride down the I-95, thinking about my daughter's eyes on some real shit. My partner caught a case space of time. What the fuck is going through a nigga's mind on some real shit? My dad passed away while I was crying, but my pride won't let me keep crying on some real shit. Some gotta give shit, cause somebody gotta make it out these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Up at night I never sleep, cause the play me up, that's only three. Bury me a priest. Revolution every moving, every dance, get a lot in these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Who's going under for my dad's let me die, before he ever got to sleep. Carry me a priest. If the devil rest in peace, tell my kids that it died on the street. Carry me a priest. I got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. Got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. I say you're 58 and 1. The word is my gun. I aim at my brethren. My weapon save the sun. Banana clip the message for the reckless and the young. Some take it easy, but the others just run. The river that we tell about James 1 and 1. So love your how I ride from your how I shot the rocket ball. Say to evil 101. Since you want us to fix us, you can call upon the name of the father who was up. Now we eating up the road. We feeling like the pump, screaming back in 24. Verse 38 for lunch, back with Friday 14. I'll tell you how the road is one. Pour me up the holler, I'm outside. I got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. Got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. It's confusion and telling you know what all is done away with. Since you don't know the what he said, you should stop and pay and this commands are the truth. My daily meditation and teaching kids is that you will never be forsaken when you come to see wisdom from representation. Eat up the city, stay away from divination. The same way true as for all the other nations. Isaiah 14 into a change in occupation when it comes to salvation. We know it's of the Jews. John chapter 4 verse 22. Now that's the good news. The gospel of the kingdom, you can live a life, not the rock of black power. Leader to the valley of decision for the third. We're the leaders, still the mountains of bloodshed. Walking from your prison, as far as up and start good friends. Wash it out of lies when the wicked made our righteousness religion. I got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. Got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. Some people say the truth hurts, but they never bothered. The 10 try to steer it up, carry across the water. The most high told us I build a little brother. 14 matches to come up with famous order. He didn't want a water, he did it out of collar. They celebrate the transatlantic slave trade started living in the urban order. Life is getting harder, still trying to be a baller. Realize you are a star, will let you shine in the law. Get a total recall, over die you had the vision, so we step to Esau and then you go spot dog. You can die to an enemy, having it, then I wanna see you as a prince of the Bible with my brothers in the room. No proof for the capital, going in the booth. As the seeds of the dead, in the life span, look how it's at. Cut the heathen down in one breath. I got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. Got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. Got the grapes in the glass, strong drinking hand. You heard what I said. That's a gun deeper than the 16 of lead. The word being read, nobody fed. That's a gun deeper. That's a done deal. That's a done deal. What it do? Cult leader. Yeah. We see the truth that we a cult leader. Yeah, well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah, well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah, they say I'm in the cult, they say a nigga lost, but I done lost it all. Family and all, they didn't get involved.
They just wanna ball, some wanna stall. Back against the wall, we gon' show them all. I don't wanna be here, land of the slaves. We are not afraid, we are not the same. I done seen death, nigga, looking in his eyes. My higher man told me don't look surprised. Them haters gon' cry, but them devils gon' cry. I don't wanna side, nigga, I just wanna ride. I don't wanna hide what I really feel inside. Them devils gonna pay for what they get in mind. Look me in my eyes. I want 7 wives. I want 7 kids. I want them to know that it was no home. That it was no joke. That is how it goes. I do it with no patience. I mean no hesitation. Come on, though, we waiting. Look at what they saying. I can't let it be. I can't turn the cheese for what they did to you and what they did to me. They say I'm in the coat. I guess I'm in too deep. I guess it's really deeper than it really needs to be. Forever it's one West. Forever we the best. You don't wanna test. It's only round the West. Cult leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah.
Ways to sin, death to your cult leader. You ain't one West, so you don't know scripture. Nah, you ain't in the truth, so we don't know niggas. Look, I had to change my ways, I don't know sinning. Got the name changed, not to sound, yeah, how would I? How was I ever in the world? I gotta ask myself. Man, the white man, the devil, I ain't imagining. Put this in the hill, but my people can't imagine hell. I'm in the field with black natives and Hispanics. Never drop my sword, no panic like Muhammad. The church of house of Satan, they just want the time. You could go against the law, but you won't survive. You both can't have that drug, we get burnt alive. Meeting on my enemies, the worst advice. If you ain't UBK, you don't worship Christ. No, say you don't worship Christ.
Cult leader. Yeah. We speak the truth, but we a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a cult leader. Yeah.
tribes of Israel, the Negro, representation, religion, animated stories, music, Mexican and North American. We love our people, we hate our enemies. It's none of us is Jew. A child, rules, and rules. You ain't no Jew. That's a problem. It's time for you to see. Believe what you see and everything you come to you. All your time is like never could never even got a stop. Time to jump, one yard out, run, get away with trouble, guard, on the next card. It's an arm break, it's no defense of one. It's the one, going for real talk. How you gonna be that with all the time for you to see, believe you see and everything you come to you. All your time is like never could never even got a stop. Time to jump, one yard out, run, get a trouble, guard, on the call. It's an arm break, it's no defense of one. It's the one, going for real talk. How you gonna be that with all the kills? Start. Joy and religion, listen, pretty black friends, songs, walls, are action, and all from the constant, romance, real love, real black friends, come from a dimension above the comprehension, romance, real black friends, come from a dimension above the comprehension, you can see me from a distance, so I know you not arrogant, government corrupt, you reflect too late, rapper like you, look at you in the ability, wax for all you figure in. See all the way the range, what one really agrees that you wanna be juvenile, giving you the bitch, waiting to the side, brother who's the weapon, is the only true fact, 90 days ago, get your man, juvenile, loving up and break, up and down the every story, looking like a straight, better drop it down on top of the game, in the cheap place of time, for the common popular, roll the beat, party, and pussy, I'm a
false prophets. I face the east and pray towards the sun. Look on east and I don't need your love. I'm gonna have slaves when the kingdom come. I see my adversaries teaming up, but they ain't ready for war. And if they is, we gon' bring it to them. I'm still pages reading Obadiah. White man the devil, he for sure a liar. Can't trust the snake, Jesus called him vipers. How you love everybody, won't be the ones dying. I'm bloodthirsty, pray my enemies drop dead. Don't do nothing God say, but won't forget his for they sins. Niggas hypocrites, I just want slaughter and revenge. A sword and a crown they give my kids. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. And I can never be a Muslim when they worship rocks. If you don't serve the Most High, then you curse my God. Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah. Kwam Yashala, should a king die would die. I got wisdom from the prophets, I ain't without. I'm in the belly of the beast trying to make it out. I know the truth, so I can't transgress the law. For a long time, was a rebel without a cause. I was called by the Lord. I feel like the poor man when a dog get his sword. Came from my neighborhood, but own all the stores. The church on every corner and my name's still destroyed. We living in a town where the word get recorded. Men of the Lord still present as a war. I got a Glock, my brother lived a real weapon. You can't just screaming at my yacht, but it's still fake. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child. Home of the truth, you ain't in this house. I was lost in the world, but I get it now. I got niggas sitting down who ain't getting out. You ain't ready for a baby, but don't kill your child.
All right. Shalom, Israel. This is another episode of Sharpen the Sword Radio, and I'm Captain Degal Gabar of the ISUPK up under Command of General Yohana. You understand? Real quick announcement, we got another major food drive going on again, okay? October the 2nd, which is this upcoming Friday, from 1 to 3 right here on the parking lot. All right, Commander Jimmy Yohana has been sending almost 30,000 pounds of food a month to St. Louis, man, to feed blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians during the pandemic. You understand? And guess what? It's gonna keep going on. All right. But don't forget it. Don't miss it. Again, it's October the 2nd from 1 to 3, right outside of our building here at 5261 Delmore Boulevard. Right on the parking lot. You open up your trunk, your back seat, or the front seat, wherever you want all this food to go, and we got you. Okay? And man, we've been getting some good stuff too. Good vegetables, good watermelon. You know, you say niggas love watermelon. All right, we've been getting some good watermelons. We've been getting some good grapes. I love some grapes. All right, and man, pears, peaches, plums. Man, we've been getting the works. All right, we've been getting the works. And even sending some good stuff, man. All right, so make sure y'all come. Okay, make sure y'all come and get some of that food. If you need it, you know a family that does need it. You understand? You can come get it for them if they don't have no transportation. You know, don't let anything stop you from helping your people. All right. Hell, we've even delivered. We got 4 different senior citizen buildings that we deliver, man, hundreds of boxes to. You understand? Each event. So make sure you're here. All right. And the number to call in if you got any questions, concerns, complaints, or whatever it is, you can dial 712-832-8330, and the access code for that number is 910-1409. All right. And we're supposed to have a special guest calling in today. We're supposed to have a real live African that's going to call in and tell African Americans how he really feels, if we are family or not. All right, if African Americans are true Africans or not. All right, and we're gonna hear his stance on it. He should be calling in roughly at about 12, I believe. You know what I mean? They are on a break. He actually works as a slave with one of the brothers, and he's gonna call in. So Lord will, they have the time to call in, and we can hear from a real live African. All right. So before we get started, let me see. Hold on 1 second. Alright, 1 second. Okay. Yeah. I got a short video that I wanted to play too on that topic, as far as what Africans, what they really feel about so-called African Americans. Because black people here in America, your nationality is not African American. That is not your identity. All right? And we're going to turn around and we're going to give it to you in the ISUPK. All right? Up under Commander Junior Hunter. He's been doing so since 1969, okay? And all you got to do is come on in and grab a seat, man, and listen and take notes. All right? Black people have been trying to find their identity for, the longest, okay? And we still haven't found it, all right? So let's go with, let me see if I've got, 1 second. All right, we're gonna get the first article on that. So I'll bring up a couple of articles, some recent and some not. But we're gonna get to the point of African Americans being African or not. All right, let me find this article. All right, now this one here is from the New York Times, and this is a debate over identity, and race asks, are African Americans black or black? All right, now let me kind of explain this a little bit of why they even have this topic like this. Another article that we have is going to go into it a little further, but black people, if you cannot see and cannot tell that we are searching for an identity that, we just never going to find here, and trying to find it by being another race of people. You're not going to find it trying to, join them or any of that. You know what I mean? Your identity, where you can find the greatest source ever for Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians to, how you say in the word research or find their roots, it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Now, I know the preacher sing and slob all over the book so much to where you just cannot believe your identity lies within those pages, but it actually does. Okay, and it's a damn shame that the man has been singing and dancing and speaking in a lying tongue, claiming that he's a lover and a freak for Jesus, when what you really need is the absolute truth. Okay, you need the truth that's within the book, and a preacher is never going to give it to you. Your pastor, your deacon, your bishop, your reverend, whatever you want to call him, he's never going to give it to you. All right, but you are going to get it from Commander General Yohana. All right, you are going to get it in the ISUPK. Come to class, and you will get your identity back. You understand? It's time for black people to put their strength on. Okay, our identity is inside of the Bible. That's where we find it. All right, and you are an Israelite according to the Lord, not a damn African. All right, you're not an African, you're not an Arab, you're not an African American, you're not a white man, you're not a black woman. A white woman. You're none of that. Okay, you're not even black. All right, black is a color. That's just something that we turn around and say about each other. Especially if somebody's dark. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of different sayings. I like them dark skinned. I like them black. I like them light. And all that. Our sisters and brothers come in all different shades. All different shades of brown. What we say, the black of the berry is sweeter than Jew. Just different things like that, man, that we say as people. But that's not our nationality. Okay, black is not our nationality. All right, that's something that has been associated with us, to keep us absolutely separate from everybody else. And guess what? It's actually a good thing. It's a good thing because that's what we're supposed to be, separate from all the other nations of people. So when somebody say black, they don't think of Africans, okay? They don't think of Arabs. Some Arabs is as dark as us, okay? Some East Indians, the ones that own the Dunkin' Donuts and the 7-Elevens, they are as dark as us. In some cases, some of them, they get that dark. You never hear us say, you never hear anybody say, "Oh, you are Arab, you are East Indian," but they will put that, hocus pocus on us and say that we are African Americans. They'll never say we're East Indian Americans. You understand? They never say that we're Arab Americans. Even though you claim that we got the same dark skin, but they do too. So if that's one of your claims, then guess what? That's off. Because, damn near, matter of fact, the Chinese, I have seen some dark-skinned Chinese people. And then you got silly black people going around saying that they're Asiatic black, that they're the first Asiatic, and all that, whatever the hell they say. It's nonsense. You're searching for an identity when you got it right here in this book. Okay? It's right here. Okay? And that's what we teach in the ISUPK, which is the truth according to the Bible. Not something to turn around and help rock you back to sleep like the preachers or the people in these religions. That's what it does. It takes you and rocks you back to sleep. All right? And let's go with a little bit of this article. It says, it's the difference between black and black. A long time push by African American scholars and writers to capitalize the word black in the context of race has gained widespread acceptance in recent weeks and unleashed a deep debate over identity, race, and power. Okay? And then it says, hundreds of news organizations over the past month have changed their style to black in reference to the race of people, including the Associated Press, long considered an influential arbiter of journalism style. Far more than a typographical change, the move is part of a generation's old struggle over how best to refer to those who trace their ancestry to Africa. All right, and now here's the thing: you're not going to trace your ancestry back to Africa. Okay, you're not from Africa. You're not who you are based on where you live or where you're born. That has nothing to do with it. I know that a lot of people especially back in my day, have said I was born in the back of a lack. Okay, so what would you be? A Cadillac-alike? You understand? I mean, what are you? You understand? If you was born on a boat, what would you be? A boater-like? You understand? What in the hell would you be? All right. If you was born on a, in a basement, what would you be? A basementite? Like, come on, that sounds silly. Nobody even does that, and everybody else knows exactly who they are and where they come from and how to trace back their roots. Okay, you don't find everybody on the planet, like all the civilizations started in one place. They all started in one place, right? And that was in the Middle East. You don't check, and you won't find any of those other races of people like the Chinese who started in that area, the Japanese, the Koreans, the Africans, the Arabs, everybody, you understand, even the Edomites, so-called white man. You won't find any of them trying to trace their roots back to the Middle East because they know that that's not what makes them who they are. You understand? Is where you were born, or where you live, or something of that nature. You don't hear Chinese people refer to themselves as Chinese Americans. They don't do it. They're Chinese, and they were born here. You know what I'm saying? They've been here. I've seen some. When I was in the world going to Chinese restaurants when I was little. I see the woman and the man that will work. The man will be in the back cooking, and the woman will be in the front ringing up at the register. And I see her pregnant, and then after so long, it would be a car seat in the back of that damn thing, right there by that register, where she's ringing up the rice, and he in the back cooking, and the baby in the damn car seat. And then I seen the little baby start growing up until 8, 9 years old. They was at the register ringing up. Even though that child was born here, they don't consider it to be Chinese American. They're Chinese. They're what they are. You are what your father is, not where your father stayed. Okay? That's what you are. You are what your father is, not where he lives. Okay? Now let me get the next article real quick. Because that push to turn around and identify a people is one of the problems here in America with this problem that so-called African Americans have. You understand? Is that you're trying to find your identity when, like I said, you're looking in the wrong place. You ever heard of looking for love in all the wrong places? You're trying to find love in all the wrong places. And up under the other nations of people, up under their umbrella, is absolutely the wrong place to look. Okay? That is the wrong place to look. All right. Okay, now here's another article right here. This is back in December the 20th of 1988. And it said, leaders say blacks want to be called African Americans. All right? And this is where, because we've been called several different things. We've been called Afro-Americans, Negroes. It was a hairstyle. Afro was a style, the way that we wore our hair. So they called us Afro-Americans. They called us Negroes. They called us niggas. Hell, now they calling us nakers. They calling us nuggets. There's all kinds of different things they call us, man. They gonna keep changing it up. Now, and that last article was by Black Lives Matter. Is that the new people, the new organizations that's out, Black Lives Matter. What's another? It's another couple of groups out here. I forgot. They're right in lines with them. They didn't gain as much popularity as the Black Lives Matter did, but they're out there as well, and they're all pushing now to just be simply called black, because here it is again. It's like here you are. You're on the hunt for something. You're looking for something. You're being called by African Americans so long. You're looking for something that I just don't feel that. Black people really don't feel being called African American. You don't feel like you're from Africa. I don't give a damn if you put on a goddamn dashiki or not. I don't care if you go visit Africa. I don't care if you eat fufu or whatever, couscous, whatever African food they eat. I don't care. You don't feel tied to Africa. You don't feel like you're an African at all. All right? It's because you're not. Okay? But here again, now, after you've been looking for this identity so long, now just call me black. Yeah, I'm just black. I'm just black again. Just call me black. Are you black or are you black? You know, the confusion, man. You know, and that's because your politicians, your preachers, your leaders, these black activists even, all right, they work for the oppressor. They do not do what's best for the people that they claim to be serving. They claim to be serving so-called African American people, black people, right? And they are not doing what's best for those people that they claim to be serving and working for. All right? They actually work for the oppressor, who is on the opposite side of everything that we stand for. Okay? So, it says that a group of black leaders, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson, that's who coined that phrase, okay, African Americans, was Jesse Jackson, okay, says members of their race would prefer to be called African Americans rather than blacks. See, now they're going from what he had coined years ago to now we just black again, okay? Now they was trying to get away from the black. And then here's the thing, and what's so significant about what this just said is they would prefer to be called African Americans rather than black. What this signifies is this signifies how our people just truly want to get away from being who they truly are. And let me help y'all, there is no getting away, man. You understand? I know that you might stay in the worst part of the damn world. You may be the poorest. You may be on dope. And your mother may have been a whore. Hell, you might be a whore yourself. You might be a homosexual. I know your life is probably ruined, but guess what? You have an identity, and you're gonna have to turn around. Ain't no getting away from it. There is no getting away from it, because here's this: the people that rule over you, that murder and oppress you every day, they're never gonna let you forget. They're never gonna wake up one day and just say, you know what? Let's treat them, like they're not niggers. Let's treat them like they're not niggers. Let's not call them that anymore. Let's call them black. Let's treat them like they're black. Let's treat them like they're people. They're never going to wake up and have any thought like that. Anything remotely close to that, they're never going to do. All right? And it says here, just as we were called colored, yes, that was another one, called colored. You know what I mean? Like they keep giving us names, after name, after name, after name, to let you know that you know what, you just go back to sleep. That's okay. You wake up, who am I? You wake up trying to find who, you say, I've heard people say back in the day they had like a midlife crisis, right? They turned around and just woke up one day like, who am I? What's my purpose here? And all of that. And then they rock you back to sleep when you wake up. You woke up from being colored, okay? And then you turn around and talk black, and they put you back to sleep, and you're black. Then they woke up again, and they call, oh, you Negro. You went back to sleep. Then they turn around, oh, no, you're Afro-American. You went back to sleep. You woke up again, and now you're African American. You're not black anymore. And now you turn around, waking up. Since the truth has been out there, since the men in the ISPK under Commander General refuse to let the truth die and go back to sleep, he said, now you're waking up again. You know that you're not African American. You know that you ain't African, and you know good goddamn well that you ain't American. You know this. All right? And then now what they're trying to do is rock you back to sleep. They're trying to put you back. Now you're going to be black again. You'll be colored again. You'll be Negro again. You understand? You'll be the next one. You're going to be a Naker. You're going to be a Nugget. And you're going to be whatever else the hell they want to call you. All right? But we refuse to let that happen. You are an Israelite according to the Bible. And guess what? That's it. That's what it is. All right? And it says, just as we were called colored, but we're not that. And then Negro, but not that. To be called black is just as baseless, Jackson said at a news conference Monday after a meeting of the black leaders. To be called African American, check it out. To be called African Americans has cultural integrity, he said. It puts us in our proper historical context. Every ethnic group in this country has a reference to some land base, some historical cultural base. African Americans have hit that level of cultural maturity. Okay, so what he's saying here is that to be called African American has cultural integrity. That's someone else's culture. That's not even your culture. That's not your identity. So it has no integrity for you to push, this African thing on so-called African American people and have us thinking that we're them. That's as baseless as everything else that he said. That's just as worthless as everything else that he named. Okay? And then he says it put us in our proper historical context. No, it's not. Because we are not, when we were actually in Africa, right? Because we did flee. Our homeland is where that squatter lives, the so-called white man, the Israeli, the so-called Jewish man, all right? They squatted in our land, okay? They stole it like they stole everything else. This land that we're living in now, America, every other stretch of it, he stole it all right? And he claims to be us. So that's the land that we were living in. We were forced out of it. We fled back in 70 AD, fleeing Roman persecution and slavery. They came to persecute, beat, kill, and turn around and enslave us who were living in our land. So we turned around and fled, and we ran over into Africa, in Eastern, I believe it was Eastern or Western, I had to look it up again. But I think it was in Ethiopia. And we went and hid over there. And it's like you're on the run. You have a warrant, right, for your arrest. And you're not going to turn around, if you are as black as a t-shirt, you're not going to go live in a goddamn area where you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. You're going to go somewhere where you're going to blend in at. You're going to turn around and you're going to go somewhere where the people may look like you. They ain't got to be your people, but at least you're going to blend in more. So when they start looking for you, you understand, they turn around and say, oh, he look like him. You look like him. Damn, you look like my neighbor. You look like the guy that worked at the gas station. You're gonna confuse him, right? You're not gonna be so easy to find. But if you go and try to be, like I said, as black as a t-shirt, and then go live out in a area or a county or a city where there's nothing but white people, they're going to, oh, who was that guy? Hey, there's a suspicious guy walking my neighborhood. Yeah, he's black. You understand? He's African American. He's a Negro. He's a nigger, whatever you want to call you. You understand? And then they coming to get you. And then they going to find out, oh, you got this warrant. Okay? They going to haul you off to jail. But that's what we did when we fled into Africa. Okay? We went and hid there because the Romans had a warrant for our arrest. In a nutshell. And we went and hid over there. And we dwelt there for over 1,000 years, I believe. Around about 1,500 years, I believe. And at that point, we grew and grew and grew, and we had our culture right there with us. We had our Bibles. We kept our culture. You understand? We lived right next door to those people. We kept our culture. We didn't turn around and leave ours and pick up an African. And when you do the research, we'll find out that we had better education, we had better schools, we had better every damn thing than them Africans. Everything was way smarter than them Africans. All right? And now we have traded that for a lie. That we are African, we're African Americans, and we're tracing our roots back to Africa. All of that stuff is a lie. All of that is a lie. All right? And then he said that every ethnic group has a reference to some land base, but that does not make you who you are. Okay, the land has just been named after the people. Okay, that's all that is. So if you're trying to reference yourself to a land base, then our homeland will be Israel. Now, don't go there with the hopes of taking over and living there and gaining what we lost and all of that, because in the scripture, the Most High said that there's going to be a new Jerusalem. All right. So I'm not looking for it. Now you could move there if you want it. You can move wherever you want, but don't go there hoping to get what's in the scripture, New Jerusalem, because that place is a war zone where our people live at in Dimona, Israel, where most of us are, where they corner us in like they do everywhere. They stick us in a corner. They turn around and put the reservations in a corner. Stole the whole goddamn land, this whole country from the native Indian, our native Indian brothers and sisters, and then stick them in a corner and call it a reservation. You reserve this spot for these people. Why? Because you know that they're not you. You know that they are the children of God. And you rob them. But then you stick them in a corner just so they can stay right there. So they can stay right there. Turn around and you got the black folks. You stuck us in a corner. Right? Call it the ghetto. You take the Hispanics and put them in a corner, the so-called Mexicans. You put them in a corner and call it the barrio. Okay? Nothing but a Hispanic ghetto. That's all it is. Ain't nothing but a reservation. That's all it is. All the same. To where the children of God is. That's where you find the children of God. In the ghettos. And they turned around and stole this whole land and stuck them people in a goddamn corner. You understand? Which is an atrocity in itself. All right? But he claimed that now black people are growing to a level to where we're trying to find our culture, our identity, and he thought that it was a good idea. He thought that it had cultural integrity, like it really meant something, that we was getting back to our roots. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're really standing for something when you're not. You're standing for another man's culture. You're standing for another man's identity that don't even want you to do it. The Africans don't want you standing for their culture. They got their own. And they're fine with it. You understand? And I'm going to play this video and show you just how fine they are with their identity. Okay? Bear with me 1 second. Because that great divide then got even bigger. Okay? It is even bigger of a divide. It's such a great divide to where you're going to find out that we're not the same at all. All right? We're not the same people at all. All right? 1 second, bear with me. Okay. This video here, now, this is going to be, we're going to listen to a couple of parts, probably 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, maybe go to 10 on this one. You understand? This video here was shot by, this was an African, and they were trying to find out the difference between Africans and African Americans and what each party, each group had to say about each other. Now let's find out what the African had to say about the so-called African Americans. Let me try to.
I can give you this $50,000,
1 second.
or I can actually show you how to make this every single day.
I hate this goddamn video, man. Oh, I hate them damn them ads. They get worse and worse. Okay, I believe here it is. Let me see.
And host Ashley Freeman. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the rift between Africans and African Americans. We're going to have a separate panel with Africans, which we have here right now, and then the next panel will be African Americans. So let's give a round of applause.
Okay, now, notice that we're going to have a separate panel We're gonna have a panel with Africans, and then we're gonna have a panel with African Americans. Now, don't think for one second that this African, this Hamite, don't know what she doing. She does. You understand? They absolutely know that we are not the same. Let's hear what they had to say.
So let's just get right.
And all of them there, even the speaker, she is an African. Okay? They're cleaned up. Since they've been here, they've been following the black woman. All right? The black woman is the Hispanic woman, the Native Indian woman is the baddest woman on the goddamn planet Earth. And they have been following us. Right? They've been following our sisters. They're a little cleaner. They can talk a little better. You know what I mean? They turn around and follow our sisters, and then they've done their hair a little bit. Now, you turn around, you used to find them in braid shops, well, you still do. Find them in braid shops, braiding the black one's goddamn hair, and then their hair was all nappy, but now they're trying to clean themselves up a little bit as well. African men turn around, I don't know where they get this guy from, but them little funny little tight little suits they be wearing, that's gay. That's not our culture. Okay? That is not how we get down. Okay? Black men, Hispanic men, Native Indian men supposed to be looking like men, not gay men. Alright? But this panel here is all Africans.
Every couple of weeks on Twitter, on Facebook, something sparks up about appropriation, African American appropriating African culture, or Africans don't like us. What are some reasons that Africans and African Americans have this like visible rift? Who wants to start?
This is like personal experience as well, but what I've also seen in jury around, there's just been this lack of acceptance of us coming into the American culture for the longest. It was never supposed to be African. I mean, we were the darkies, we were the African booty scratchers, so many negative things because I felt like nobody wanted to be associated with being African. And now all of a sudden it's cool to own your culture because the rest of society is rejecting African Americans, so now everybody wants to be African again. And it's not everybody, but there's a lot of people that I've gotten that vibe from. So now it's like they want to wear the waist-beads, and then they want to wear kente, and all these different things that it just kind of seems like it's becoming a trend instead of a true desire to connect to the culture. And that's different. If there's a true desire to connect back to the culture, to try to create a streamline for all this sort of together, I'm all about that. I'm very big on that. But a lot of it also, too, to me, just seems like a trend. Like on social media and, fashion industry, there's different designers that picked up our prints and are getting that, appropriating. So I feel like everyone is just kind of going with that vibe.
Okay, this section.
Just to piggyback on what she said, when we were children, we were traumatized by being put in those names. And on top of that, that's during our formative years. You think about it, we're going to have PTSD from that. And to move forward, I remember when I was...
There's some people laugh at that and say everybody gets teased.
Yeah, but I remember vividly 7th and 8th grade, us having a cultural day, and me coming to school and my neighbors that you see everyone today, by African Americans being teased and ran out of the school. Fast forward today, those same people that are teasing me are telling me that's why I did it from. Take me to Nigeria.
Okay, so what?
Okay, now you're gonna hear all of them talk about how so-called African Americans treated them so bad. Okay, they're not getting to the point of African Americans being Africans at all. But just listen to everything that they say.
So another thing that I saw was just feedback on me was that this happened when you were children, you should get over it. But as a child, I was Black African. I wasn't teased for being African. My parents, on the other hand, that's when I really saw that there was a difference. I remember being a child and being in the car with my father, and this Black woman who was as dark as my dad told me to go back to Africa. And I didn't get it. So I was like, oh, everybody's African. Everybody's parents had accents. But I think we talk to a lot of
everybody's African.
still suffer today with that non-acceptance from other African Americans. Go ahead, Sheila.
Yes, I think that, that whole African beauty structure thing where people get teased, I think after it's becoming minimized, where people are like, oh well, everyone got called an African beauty structure, or everyone made fun of you because she's not like ABC soup.
Did you see that?
I remember
she turned around and said, everybody smells like dude. And they all laughed about it. Guess what? Africans, they know their culture. You understand? And they love it. None of them look down on that. They start laughing about it. They know that they are some smelly people. All right.
The U.S. on 16. So I felt like I was meeting Africans who had been out here, and Nigerians were going out here, and I felt like they were a little bit like, I would say,
Suppressing their culture.
yeah, a little bit like, maybe
Not as proud.
yeah, and I could navigate, like, I went to school that was predominantly white, and I didn't really even have African American friends until I went to college. But I could always sort of like hold on to my culture as like strength for me. So I was able to move through these spaces because I knew that I was from. You couldn't tell me shit. I came from a country where everyone was black, all black people were on TV, all black people were excellent. Like, school in Nigeria was just ridiculous. So I don't know, I felt like with Nigerians who grew up here, like you could tell that there was some self-esteem, like something had been done to limited some self-esteem. And I can attribute that a little bit to some of the stories I came like, yeah, I was teased in grade school. Someone told me, someone threw a banana peel at like my father or something like that. You know, things like that. So,
So a lot of all of this is rooted in anti-blackness, and it comes from the idea. So it comes from the idea that there was Black Americans, and then there was finally a less than Black person. That was Africa. I mean, like, and this is the America. And there's a narrative that Africa is a dark place, this like very disease-ridden place and all that stuff. And that was for a lot of us. A lot of us born in like the 80s, and our parents came in like the 80s and 90s. That was kind of the narrative that we grew up with. And one thing that's the minimization of like the issues that we went through as children, it also is rooted in anti-blackness, because it's funny because whenever I think about this, I also, because the best way to force somebody into assimilation into a culture is to strip them of their own culture, and the best way to do that is to shame them of their culture. And that was happening a lot. And if people don't recognize that's what they were doing, because you don't recognize the ladders of the bullshit that happens in your culture and your community. But that was the way, like, by telling, okay, you tell African Americans or Black Americans, what you call yourself, you tell them, like, hey, like, these are Africans and they're coming here and they're trash, remind them of it. And then you have, these kids who grow up, or you have kids who watch, because I have the stories too. My mother, I remember vividly, my mother we were all going to Burger King, and this girl refused to serve my mom because she couldn't understand her accent. And she would not serve her. She would not. My mom was so. My mom was in her 30s at that time. This is like a 16-year-old girl. The man became back to her alone, so we can't say we don't understand you. And I remember it. My mom was so pissed and so frustrated and so hurt, and she left. And I remember thinking, like, I couldn't understand, like, as a child, and that's something that I think comes with me now. And I'm one of those people who had very big issues with my name, and I think that you the music for a long time. I never went by Catchy. I would give some other random name because I was tired of being shamed, and that's what speaks to and it's something that has happened to African Americans, even though their generation is removed from it. It's that same shame that they were felt. It's also even like there's a lot of African Americans who even now refuse to connect themselves to Africa because of the shame that they get in Africa.
Yeah. It's like,
Now, there is no, we refuse to connect because of the shame with Africa. It's just that we're not the same people, And I used to wonder when I was little too, I used to wonder, boy, you go straight in on them Africans. You understand? Like the one said, they call me African booty scratcher. Why I remember why they used to do that in class, like that when that happened on, what movie was that? Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? With the little guy and turned around and told him, man, I ain't from Africa, I'm from Crenshaw Mountain. You know what I mean? Like, you from Africa, you African booty scratcher, and that's, now those was two brothers, you understand? But I remember Africans being in my class and us going in on them Africans like that because we're just not the same folks. You understand? They have a culture, they got an identity, and guess what? Black people, you got one too. Here's the thing, theirs has not been stripped from them. Theirs has not been stolen and beaten off, off their backs. Okay, 1 second, I think we got the African and the brother on the line. Let me see. First, star 6 to unmute your phone, so we can hear you. One second, make sure everything up and going, so the brother won't have no problem. Into this discussion. All right, one second. We had regrouped the last slot for everybody. Okay, you sure you there? You sure you're online? Can you hear us? Check.
Conversation mode on. Everyone can be heard. Unmuted.
Okay, you sure you there? You sure you there? Can you hear it? Alright, most of that right, we got it now. I had to check that issue. Okay, what's going on, brother?
I'm right here with you want people on my phone?
Yeah, Kyle, what's his name?
Obviously, it's not for me to pronounce the name. I'll let you say it.
Right, we don't know how to talk in Swahili. We can't talk that talk. So go ahead. Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, what's going on, man? What's your name?
What's your name? Huh?
What? Say your name for the people so they can hear you.
My name is Duncan.
Anunskin? All right. I'm Captain Nagal aboard ISUPK, one of the commanders during your hunt. I just had a couple questions for you. I know you worked there with my brother Yeshua, and he said you all had a couple conversations, about African Americans and Africans being the same people. Do you believe that Africans and African Americans are the same, or are they not the same?
No, we're not the same.
You said we're not the same?
No.
Great. You understand? Now you heard that from a real African himself that says that we are not the same. And to you, what makes you know that Africans and African Americans are not the same people?
What makes you know that you're not the same people as you know that they're not the same people? Our culture is not the same, it's different.
You said our culture is not the same, it's different. That's correct. That's correct. I agree with that. Our culture is not the same. You understand? I agree with that. And what else lets you know that we're not the same people? Culture, and what else? No, I was just asking, and Slaki, for the people that's listening, he has, the brother has to translate a little bit because he really can't understand, English that well. So that's why the brother, you may hear him in the background asking the question to him, you know what I'm saying, because he can kind of, understand the brother. Of course, he's right next to him. All right. Now I'm just trying to find out, is there anything else that lets him know how we're not the same people?
We are here to hear our officers when they take new from the United States. We ask them everything they are called nice over here. Also, we have some community to help our sisters back home. We send by sending money, by sending medicine, by sending food to them to help them. But over here, I didn't see anybody help each other.
You sure?
Yeah.
Say it again, because the phone kind of went down a little bit. What did he say?
He said that when they get here in the United States, that him and his people, they send money back home and medicine back home to help their people. You know, that is alive when they get here, they teach each other how to survive in America. He said that the black Americans don't help each other. You know what I'm saying? That he knows that our people, like, you don't help each other, like, they help each other back home. When we get here, like, they have a big community of their people when they help each other in the community, and they don't get in to send money back home to their people who still in their country. And he said, like, with black people that live here already, we don't help each other. Like, we, like, divided. That's what he's trying to say.
Absolutely. Does he ask him? Does he believe that his people were on those slave ships that came to America?
Come on. He said, do you believe that your people were the people that were nation that came to America? Yeah.
He said what? Okay. Hey, you're sure? Hold on 1 second, brother. The phone is going down. The volume, you was good and loud at first, now it went down. Now you kind of low. Can you adjust your phone?
Okay, the phone was low.
Yeah. Okay, now I can hear you good. Okay, now I want him to explain. You know what I'm saying? Was any of his people on those African slave, on those slave ships that came to America?
Okay, I am not here to again.
And try to make sure he's speaking right into the phone so it's nice and loud.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
You know what, our sisters, we help each other over here. When, you're talking about the slave? even countries, other countries like Egypt, Ethiopia, like Djibouti, we got the visa from them to the United States. And then we came by train to here. No, we are not okay with that big shit.
So the answer was no, Yeshua. Well, now what did he say? Yeshua. Okay, yeah, I heard him say no. No African was on a slave ship. I heard him say no to that.
He said his people came on a plane with a visa from the embassy.
Good night. His people came on a plane. You hear me? Good goddamn night. So his people wasn't stacked up on top of each other and defecating and urinating on one another, packed like sardines. That never happened to his people, huh? So his people came here like Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall did in Coming to America, huh? On a plane. You understand? Good damn night. Yep. So is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
He said his people came on a plane. He said they were like modern slaves when they came on a plane with a visa and they can leave whenever they want to leave. You know? And he said our people came in a state like a dog.
He said our people did what?
Came in chains like a dog.
Came in chains like a dog. Good goddamn night. And he right? He right. Good goddamn night. Yep. See if you want to add anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to tell you something, when we came over there, we were working hard, trained so hard, and we earn money, we build houses in our back home, and we come back to our back home. We don't need to stay over here, because it's not our country, it is not our land. But your people, they don't have any dignity, even some of them, they don't know where from. Your people, they don't know where from. But I know if the government say, when they kick you out, have country, I my country. But if you kick you out, you don't have country. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Okay.
I'm going to my back home. I have a country. But you don't have a country already. I mean, they don't know where they go, where they go.
I hear you. Now, you're sure?
I'm South Africa.
You can go back to Africa. But our people have no place to go back to. That's what you said, right? Yeah, the phone keep going up and down. What did he say?
He said if he get kicked out of his country, he has a country he can go back home to. If he gets kicked out of the United States, he has a country he can go back home to. He said the black Americans, they get kicked out, they have nowhere to go. They don't know where to go.
Right. Check the phone. Check the phone. You sure? You sure? Check the phone because it keep going down when you start talking. You come through clear and then it go down, and I can barely hear what you say. It sound like you taking your mouth away from the phone or something. Yeah, but I did hear a little bit of what he said. He said that if they were to get kicked out of this country, they have a place that they can go back to called home. You understand? And we do not They know that we are not the same people. They know that we do not come from Africa. That's not our home. That's not the motherland and all of that nonsense. You understand? The scripture even says that the motherland for us is Israel, not Africa. All right? Yep. So we're gonna see if the brother can move, like you said, locations and see if we can get a better. Because once he started talking, it ends up going down. Yeah. I want to make sure that volume they come clear.
Can you hear me better?
Okay, it's a little bit, but what the problem was once you talk like that, and then you start to go, and then it'll go down. Volume will go down. It's like you're taking your mouth away from the phone. Yep. But go ahead, what you were saying now? Go ahead, brother. No, what was he saying?
All right, hold on. I'll let him tell you one more time. See if you can hear it.
Hey. Hello?
Okay, I can hear you.
You hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. You know what I say? When the government, they talk to me, and they come to us to back home. But Black Americans, when they become to them, they don't know when they don't know when to work.
Uh-huh.
You hear me?
Right, I heard. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. Do you believe that Africans sold African Americans into slavery? Do you believe that in Africa, Africans rounded up black people and helped put us on some of those ships? What I said was asking, does he believe that his people, Africans, sold African Americans into slavery and helped put us on some of those ships? Go ahead.
Was it his people or Africans?
Yeah. Was it African? Does he believe that Africans sold African Americans into slavery?
Yeah, it is that.
Oh, so you do. Good. Good, because that's an absolute fact. All right. Okay, now let me ask you this. Do you believe that Africans should not only apologize, but should pay for that cruel act that they did amongst African Americans and sold them into slavery? Should Africans pay for that or no?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Good. Okay. So you know that you yourself are one of those people that's gonna end up paying for your ancestors selling mine into slavery, right?
When you say something else, he can understand.
Yeah, I said, oh, he don't understand that one. I said, does he know that he's one of the people that's going to end up paying for selling my ancestors, for his ancestors selling my ancestors into slavery?
And from my country, they don't have any slavery. Hello?
What you say?
From my country, I don't have any slavery. I'm from Asia, East Africa.
Okay, you sure? What do you say?
My God, go ahead.
Yeah, what do you say?
He said, he's from East Africa, Eritrea. He said his people did have a part of the slave trade.
Okay, so he's saying his ancestors did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they all try to claim that. You see, when you get personal, and it's time for you to pay up. You understand? It's time for you to pay the piper to get. Oh, see, my ancestors didn't do that. You see how they got the same. See, that's why they come here in this country get along with white people so well. You understand? They the same people for real. You understand? One just a little less evil than the other, but it's all the same. You understand? Because that's the first thing that white people resort to, is they say, oh, my ancestors didn't take part in that. They didn't own any slaves. You understand? That's what he's saying. You understand? And see, this is a debt, you understand, that's coming to get collected, and there is no way out of paying it. You understand? Now, you know how right now you can dodge your debt collector, right? You turn around and dodge him for a little bit. You ain't gonna be able to dodge Christ. You understand? You ain't gonna be able to dodge the Most High when he sends Christ to free us from this captivity. They're all going to pay. Okay? And whether no matter whether you had a direct hand in it or not, you understand, you are going to pay for your ancestors' horrible mistake of enslaving God's chosen people. All right? Well, was that enough? You sure? You want to say anything?
We were talking the other day, and he was talking about the holidays, you know what I'm saying? He said that him in this country, they celebrate their Independence Day, and they got their own Independence Day. We was looking at the Black Americans, we was like, we were stupid because we celebrate Independence Day that doesn't belong to us. But we don't act like Independence Day. Like they African, so they got their independence from the Ethiopians.
Right.
Ethiopians had, there was a hundred Ethiopians. And they got the independence from Ethiopia. And he said they got a day that celebrate that. And he was talking about how the Black Americans celebrate 4th of July, which is not their Independence Day.
Right. I'm sure he knows that we still don't have any independence.
Right, yeah, yeah, I want to hear you.
I said they know that we have no independence here.
Come on, God.
They know that. Yep. They know that.
Oh.
What you trying to say something else?
We got our independence in 1991 from Japan. So, all the status to celebrate it. Here, especially in the United States, we celebrate our independence May 24 every year. I don't celebrate the July 20, I mean the July 7th because it's not my independence day. Also, the black people, they don't have any independence. It's not your independence. Day. That's American Independence Day.
Mm-hmm. Right. You sure?
Right, so go ahead.
Go ahead. Translate that for what he said.
You hear it?
No, what he say? Go ahead, repeat.
He said that they celebrate in this country, even over here in America, they celebrate Independence Day on May 24th. May 24th, that they got the independence from the Ethiopians in 1991. And he said that they don't celebrate America July 4th, Independence Day, because it's not their Independence Day, but the black people do celebrate it. And it's not their Independence Day. They don't have those independence.
Okay. Ain't no sweat. Was there anything else out?
Right, is there anything else?
Was it anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Alright, no sweat. The water warrior. You understand? Appreciate the call.
I'm in the board.
Alright, both sides cry. Yeah, that's
Alright, so I'm gonna drop it down. I'm gonna get back to work.
ain't no sweat. Ain't no sweat word. Shalom, Yahweh Shema Shabbat, and make that Hamite do all the work. You kick. I said, make that Hamite do all the work. You kick back. he got some damn paying up to do. And he gonna start by doing all your work. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Oh, shalom, okay. Okay, now that would explain what we're hearing on this video, is that they actually know that we're not the same people. And none of them are concluding anything. You understand? He went straight to it and said, no, we're not the same. So why do black people keep thinking that we are the same exact people? He even goes a little further and agree with me and say, yes, someone should pay for the things that they've done to us. But he doesn't want to do it. You understand? But guess what? That's a price that he's going to pay that he's not going to have control over. You understand? When Christ comes, all the other nations of people are going to pay up for what they've done to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the chosen people of God, Israelites, according to the Bible. All right? But I'm going to play a little more of this video, because what he said about the slave trade thing was something that they're gonna touch on in just 1 second.